Welcome to Collections of Cinema.
Hello everybody, I'm having a cold and this is Collections of Cinema.
I am not having a cold.
Yeah, that's why I'm a little sniffly and
Nasally
talking. Right now I'm breathing through my nostrils, but it might change over the course of the podcast.
So if you hear some heavy breathing, it's either Woifi or it's the people who are having orgasms in this movie that we watched.
Oh yeah. So many.
You like that segue?
So many orgasms. It's spooky season, and we've watched Bram Stoker's Dracula from 1992, directed by Francis Ford Coppola. Screenplay is by James V. Hart, and it's based obviously on Dracula by Bram Stoker. And it stars Gary Oldman as Count Dracula, Winona Ryder, Anthony Hopkins as a great Abraham Van Helsing, Keanu Reeves, and many more great actors.
Cary Elwes you have to mention because it's Cary Elwes.
Cary Elwes, Tom Waits, Richard E. Grant,
Great cast.
Monica Bellucci, sadly very underused as Dracula's brides. The movie came out in 1992, as I already said, had a budget of $40 million and made $215.9 million, and is considered one of the better Dracula adaptations.
Okay.
Yeah, just saying what it is. And yeah, do you want to quickly go into the story?
Do we need the story of Dracula?
Not really. If you've seen Dracula, or
I mean, it's not really the story of Dracula. Dracula's part of it. I mean, it is, but it's not. Like, it's more.
It's a story about love, I guess.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, Keanu Reeves' character has to go. I wasn't fully aware of, like, what he was doing there. Was he just documenting something? Like, I don't really understand his job.
Keanu Reeves?
Yeah.
He was like...
I mean, I know it from Nosferatu.
It's the same thing.
But I don't really know, like, what would you say that job is?
He's like a notary guy.
Okay.
And it's about, I think it was about selling his estate.
Okay. But yeah, so he basically
gets
summoned to Dracula, not knowing that he's a vampire, obviously.
Yeah.
And weird things happen around the castle.
Right.
And meanwhile, Dracula kind of sees, however he does that, Keanu Reeves' fiance, like in his mind, and who very much resembles his wife who had died before he became what he is. And I mean, that was in the beginning we were watching it, and it was kind of showing like the backstory of him with his love and going off to battle and leaving her, and then she thought he died, and so she killed herself, and then he came back, and it was this whole thing. And when she was laying there, I was like, is that Keira Knightley? Because it just looked like her so much. But it had to have been Winona Ryder, because the whole point is that she looks so much like her. And that was going to be my second guess, that it was Winona Ryder, knowing that she was in the film when we started it. Yeah. So Winona Ryder is the fiance of Keanu Reeves, but Dracula wants to have her for himself. And that's basically the whole plot kind of goes around that. Like, he's trying to seduce her.
Yep. Exactly.
I don't fully understand why he has to go after Lucy, though, because he also goes after Lucy and kills her. Is it just because he needs...
I don't know.
The blood to survive, and because she's close to her, it's like, hey, that's convenient. That's what it felt like to me.
Maybe.
Yeah, but that's the plot of the whole story. Is getting to her.
It's a very theatrical movie. It's very sexual at times.
Not at times. The whole fucking movie is horny as fuck. This movie. I was gonna come into this podcast saying I absolutely hated this movie. And then the more I think about it, I'm like, do I love it or do I hate it? Like, I think it's both. I hate it, but there are so many things that I love about it. Like Keanu Reeves' accent I love it.
Oh, man.
Really everybody's accent.
What is the one word that they said over and over? Again. Again.
Again.
They said again over again and again. Oh, man. And his Keanu Reeves' accent is like...
You don't know what he's trying to do.
At first, it's like, wait.
He's British, right?
Wait, is that...
British? And then some like American comes through,
and then he says,
and then
again.
It's like old timey, like
it's so weird, like
that old timey, still American, but
yeah.
like it's like that weird mix, you know, between British English and American English, where it's like, see, look here, see, you know, like kind of like that, just trying just like a radio guy or something.
And it's so funny because it feels like to me that
come here,
Francis. The director Francis Ford Coppola was like, at some point he was like, he cared about the accent, and in some scenes like he just didn't give a shit.
The thing is, I feel like the only two people who did their accents really well. 3 people who did no, 4. Okay, there was 4 people in the whole movie that did their accents really well. Anthony Hopkins, because he's done that accent so many times that it just works. Whatever it is, it feels like it's not British and it's not American and it's not anything. It's just
he is
his
British,
own
so
thing.
I think he's good at that. Yeah.
So that one's really good. Carrie Elwes. I mean,
Gary Oldman too, though.
That was one of them. So Carrie Elwes, brilliant. Every time he does that voice just takes me back to Princess Bride, and it's heaven.
Yeah.
Gary Oldman is fantastic.
Yep.
With his accent. And who was the Texas guy?
Yeah.
Because Texas is not that hard to do. But like Winona Ryder's accent was really weird.
Yep.
Keanu Reeves' was really weird.
Yeah.
Lucy's was sometimes kind of weird. I don't know.
Yeah. There is a funny thing on Wikipedia that like Reeves' performance was heavily criticized by Empire's Tom Hibbert, and he said that he was cast wrong. That like he was not, it was out of his depth and frequently blasted off the screen by Gary Oldman. And I agree. Every time they shared a scene, like Keanu Reeves. Like, I don't know what it was. What is the directing or what? Because Keanu Reeves he was still very young at the time. So maybe it was a little over his head, that role. But every time they share a screen, especially at the beginning a lot with Gary Oldman, and he just feels awkward. Yeah.
I wouldn't say, I feel like as an actor and like how he looked, like his whole vibe, his whole look works for that role, because you kind of have to be like a pretty boy, kind of naive, and that fits with him at that stage of his life, I feel like.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I feel like it needed more. Wow. Maybe he wasn't like experienced yet as much
also,
in like the dramatic or like theatrical acting. But again, this movie is it's lore, so and in the 90s, I feel like it's supposed to be kind of out there. It's not supposed to be taken too seriously. It's not supposed to, for me, it's supposed to feel more like a play than it is.
Yeah, it does. And Gary Oldman and Anthony Hopkins, like they play it like it's a play.
But this is where I had the issue, though, because you have people with acting chops like Anthony Hopkins and Gary Oldman, and then you have people who were not quite.
But even Winona Ryder, she's great in it.
I didn't think so.
Oh, I feel like she was great in it. But
towards the end, I thought so. I thought that her character towards the end, when she like started to fall for Dracula, was great.
Yeah,
like
Reeves' attempt to London vernacular has been cited as one of the worst accents, if not the worst, in the history of recorded film.
I can disagree with that just by saying Brad Pitt
I know.
in Meet Joe Black when he does a Jamaican accent.
Keanu Reeves is consistently terrible at delivering any accent apart from Californian surfer dude, but it's his English effort in Dracula that tops the lot. Overly posh and entirely ridiculous. Reeves' performance is as painful as it's hilarious. Salt said that Winona Ryder is equally rubbish. An opinion echoed by Glenn Levy in the time. In his top 10 worst fake British accent, he said that both actors come up short in the accent, and some might argue acting department. And that the London dialect made for a literal horror show. Conservatively, Mark Sallow, writing the Austin Chronicle, opinioned that Winona Ryder was more impressive than Reeves and suited the role. Ryder seemingly the perfect choice for Dracula's obscure object of desire. Mina Harker is better by far than Reeves. yeah. The thing is, it's 1992. So just quickly
Yeah,
to
I was
check
going to say
what
how
did he
much
do
had each
before.
of them done before that? Because I know Winona Ryder was massive, but was she already? I mean, she must have been already pretty massive in the early 90s.
She broke out in the 80s. So,
and the thing is, I have seen Winona Ryder in so many things where I'm like, wow, she's fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
And obviously Keanu Reeves is fucking brilliant.
Beetlejuice, 88.
Beetlejuice.
Heathers, 98.
Yeah.
Edward Scissorhands, 1990. So she was massive already.
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves, I think he has not broken out at this point.
He hadn't done that much yet. I mean, his role was significantly smaller for a name that
Bill and Ted,
like
the first
Keanu Reeves.
one was 1989, and then Parenthood was also 1989.
Okay.
Point Break was 1991, but
yeah.
His big break was Speed, obviously,
Yeah.
and then The Matrix. So yeah, but yeah, he was still very much young and
but he was definitely up and coming at that point, so it makes sense why they would want him in the film for a film that has so many big names, because for me that's a smart choice, because he was so
and kudos
known.
Kudos for even taking on the role.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it was maybe a miscast, but he tried, and
I wouldn't say miscast. I would just say they could have coached him a little more on the accent.
Yeah, maybe that. I don't know.
I think with some accent coaching, it would have been perfectly fine.
Yeah. Yeah,
but again, I feel like you're not necessarily supposed to take this movie so seriously.
No.
It's supernatural fantasy. It falls into a genre that can oftentimes it can have the silly elements to it and still be fun to watch and memorable.
Yep.
And yeah. I personally had I feel like if the movie weren't as horny as it was, I would have enjoyed it more. But it was horny. So over the top.
There's
it was
much
so
boob
in your face.
There's so much boob in that movie.
It was so in your face. And some of the stuff was the scene where Lucy needs a blood transfusion.
Yeah.
And they hear her upstairs out. And she's fully orgasming on the bed when they walk in.
Yeah.
And they're just so casual about it. They're acting like something else is wrong. She's not just having an orgasm. And they're being way too casual and just it's weird. It's so weird. The scene just is really uncomfortable. And that for me was describing the whole movie. It felt like every other scene was some horny, ridiculous, the other scene where Dracula's wives or whoever they are, his concubines or
sex slaves
are trying to get to Keanu Reeves, and then there's a really close-up shot of one of them just licking his nipple for 4 straight seconds.
It spurts blood. Yeah.
It's too much. It's like watching a softcore porn.
Also, Keanu Reeves,
the fantasy
when
story.
his hair turned white.
You why?
Yeah,
because the blood of the concubines got in him, got in his eyes, or
no? Because he literally got sucked so much blood out of him to keep him weak, to keep him there.
Yeah, but then why did it turn back at the end?
I don't know.
Because Dracula died.
Maybe he died it or something. I don't know.
No, I feel maybe it has something to do with Dracula dying at the end.
Maybe.
Spoiler.
I don't know.
Because it didn't go back until after that point.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
It was weird.
Yeah.
And never explained. It was never really talked about. It was just now he has white hair.
Yeah. It's honestly, it looks so stupid.
It looks really bad.
You feel what's weird is I felt wait, was there a time jump? Is he older now? Because especially in the last third of the movie, there's a lot of back and forth.
Yeah.
And then they rush back from London to Transylvania, and they go by boat over the English Canal and then by course, and Dracula somehow tries to do all the way with the ship, which I don't really understand how he goes. Goes he around Spain and then up to the Dead Sea? I mean, that must be the case, but that's much longer than doing the other way. I don't know. But yeah, let's go to movie of the week. Quick,
yeah. Movie of the week.
Well, it was a fast movie of the week. We didn't even talk that much about the movie, but we have not watched that many films. We've watched The Last Rites, Conjuring, Good Fortune, John Candy, I Like Me, and that's it.
Yeah, it's between the John Candy thing and Good Fortune, honestly.
I would say John Candy for me. Simply, it was such a beautiful documentary about his life.
Beautiful, yeah.
And funny and very, I don't know, deserving of his. I would say John Candy.
Yeah. No, that's fine. I agree. But Good Fortune was great, and I mean, speaking of Keanu Reeves, he also in this, and just fucking brilliant, brilliant in that movie. So funny.
But yeah, John Candy's I Like Me is a documentary that just came out, directed by Colin Hanks, Tom Hanks' son, and a lot of famous people speak in it, and it's basically just the story of him up and coming and how he found his way into the industry, but then also the struggles that he had with his weight and alcohol abuse, and then it ended obviously sadly with him dying way too soon.
Yeah, he was very young.
But still, I feel like John Candy is one of those actors that are like, even if you don't know his name, you know him simply because he had
something that he was in.
He had so many iconic roles, and it's a very if you're not a fan of him, or like if you don't really know him, just still watch the movie, like documentary. It's on Prime, and it's really great. It's a beautiful movie. Okay, let's go to the fun part now, huh? Also, by the way, we have the 4K French Blu-ray here because the French Blu was super cheap. And honestly, the image quality was not great. Apparently, in 2017, they did a new transfer to disc on 4K, and I have to say it's not great. There are some scenes that are like outstanding, but overall, I was very disappointed in the 4K. I have to say. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't do any trivia, but they're not that fun. But there's one that's kind of fun.
Okay.
Francis Ford Coppola explains on the DVD commentary that Mina and Harker's wedding was a reshoot done at a Los Angeles Greek Orthodox church. They filmed the entire ceremony with a genuine Romanian Orthodox minister and realized afterwards that Winona Ryder and Keanu Reeves may have really been married to each other, not in a legal sense, but, quote, under the eyes of God, as Ryder claims. Reeves has since confessed that he often gets text messages from Ryder that read, "Hello, husband."
Yeah.
And that they're both just like, whatever, it's cool.
Yeah. There was a movie in 2018 or 19 with both of them. Destination Wedding. Do you remember 2018? The romantic comedy where they drive up into the California wine region because of a wedding, and they meet there, and they don't fall in love, but it's like this.
I don't remember that. No.
You don't remember? It's a fun movie, and I liked it. We've watched it when it came out. Okay, so reviews, Letterbox Reviews.
They're so good.
Yeah.
I was laughing so hard when I was looking at them.
Good. Go ahead.
Yeah, I have to find a good one first.
Okay. Robert Pattinson could make Dracula work, but Gary Oldman couldn't make Edward Cullen work. That's kind of true, though. Legend has it that Keanu Reeves and Winona Ryder actually turned into vampires and haven't aged since. I mean, that's kind of true.
Like this review if you think Dracula's head looks like a butt.
Yeah. Women love him. Doctors hate him.
More like Dripula because of his outfits. It's so good.
This simultaneously is the best and worst film I've ever seen.
Thank you. That's exactly, that's what I feel like.
Imagine being cucked by Dracula.
I love that quote. An autopsy on Lucy? No, not exactly. I just want to cut off her head and take out her heart.
Right. I want to reach 90s Francis Ford Coppola level of unhinged.
Why does Dracula look like Emperor Palpatine?
Yeah. There's one scene that's I turned to you and said, like when he's in the clouds or something, he looks like Palpatine.
Yeah.
And he has so many different looks. Like in the beginning, he's like young, obviously, because it's that when he was still human. Then he turns into a vampire, and then he looks super old and freakish.
Yeah.
And then he turns into a young guy again, and then he turns into an old guy again. And then
like,
at the
why
end,
would you look like? Why would you be the old guy if you can? If like you have the capability of looking like the young guy.
I mean, I assume that it takes powers. Like
Probably.
it takes powers from him, so he doesn't do it all the time. But it turns into the young guy when he's in London, and then it turns into the old guy again when he goes back, and then he
like
dies.
The bat thing, like the really gross looking.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah.
He has like so many different
looks.
Yeah.
I like this one. Bram Stoker, horniest moments compilation.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's no fucking way Mina would have chosen a decrepit, wrinkly, hueless man over Keanu Reeves. I mean, that's true.
I want to reach 90s Francis Ford Coppola level of unhinged.
Anybody who thinks Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula isn't a masterpiece can suck my dick.
Unbelievably horny, 10 out of 10.
Yeah. That's it, everybody.
Yeah. It's a very horny movie. So if you're feeling like watching a really horny movie, that's a good one to watch. And not, it's not like scary or anything.
Nah. The thing is, I feel like it's a must see, simply because of how crazy it is, partly. And you can, and it's Francis Ford Coppola. It's like one of the greatest directors of our time, arguably.
Sure,
but he
you
is
can
so
be
batshit.
One of the greatest directors and still have movies that
I mean,
are
honestly,
like,
his last movie, what was the last movie that he did? That was fucking wild. I can't even think of it. I watched it on Netflix because people call it the worst movie ever made. Was 2020 24 was it 2024 Megalopolis.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that movie was so batshit crazy. And one of the worst things I've ever seen, but at the same time you admire him at his age for making something like that. Like,
how old is he?
80 something.
Oh, okay, that's impressive.
And he just made, like, that's one of the movies he tried to make for years.
Okay.
And he just stuck with it and kept bringing it back, and then he made it, and then it just got the worst reviews ever. and I don't know. Yeah. But also, I mean, he made The Godfather, Apocalypse Now. So many great movies in his career. Rumblefish, Outsiders.
Rumblefish is great.
The Conversation. Great movie.
Isn't he Nick Cage's uncle? Because that's how Nick Cage got the role in Rumblefish.
Yeah. I think it's his uncle.
Yeah, I'm almost positive.
I mean, they're related. Yeah. But I think it's
uncle,
his
I'm pretty
uncle.
sure.
Yeah. That's it, everybody. If you want to support us, head over to our Patreon. Joe is still, I think, the only member there, so that's kind of sad. Otherwise, please subscribe to our YouTube or Spotify. We don't mention Spotify right now. Apple Podcasts, and like and leave a comment, and that's it.
Bye.